This is the weekend review. I'm bringing you some information on the championship chase in the 450 class that really stands out to me, and that the fact that the next race that we enter into in Phoenix is going to be Eli Tomac carrying the red plate. It's going to be Cooper Webb carrying the red plate, and it's a very bold, aggressive Chase Sexton, which I don't think bodes well for him. He's, 22 points down now in the championship, which is it's a sizable gap. But for a guy like Sexton, with the talent that he has, if he were to carry out these next 6 races doing top twos, that gap closes really quickly. And the likelihood that Eli Tomac is going to have some falter in the next 6 races is high. Like, he doesn't have the consistency this year of that he's had in the past at the end of the seasons. But Cooper Webb does. Cooper Webb is certainly going to be in that top 3 for the rest of the year, unless some strange thing happens to his racecraft situation. Now, the two things that really boost, I think, are the two guys that are really boosted by a unique factor are Eli Tomac and Cooper Webb. And that's the fact that they're both dads. They're both family men. They are racing for things that are beyond themselves, and they're enjoying it beyond what the standard is. And you could also put Michael Craig in there. Not Michael Craig, Christian Craig. Christian Craig, of course. It's just a memory flashback. When I was racing Supercross, I was walking down the tunnel ramp in the Minneapolis Metrodome with Michael Craig, and Christian Craig was just maybe 2-3 years old, maybe at the time. And so it's just a memory that's locked in, and it's just humorous. But everybody's got families right now. You could certainly put Ken Roczen in there, right? When you're having this desire to race and raise your racecraft above the level that you're at because it's providing for your family, I think that's a very different take than when you're just Mr. Single and can handle everything on your own. And then there's nothing wrong with either one of them. I just think like a guy like Chase Sexton is probably lacking in that there's an emotional support that comes through marriage. And Chase may have an incredible extended family. He may have incredible parents. I take nothing away from him. It's the fact that he's kind of like a modern day Damon Bradshaw. Chase Sexton has this elite ability, and we know back in the day when Bradshaw went on to win 9 races and still lost the Supercross championship, Chase Sexton is really leaning toward that. Like, he's made mistakes in almost all but 2 of the early rounds, right? All but 2. 8 times he's made mistakes that either pushed him out of the top 3 or caused him to lose that win. And those are big mistakes, right? All of the 22 points down that he would be ahead. I think it was 27 points if he had minimized those mistakes, meaning he didn't make them. And how does he do that? I'm not quite sure. You know, one of the things that was talked about a lot this week is that Chase Sexton is like one of the few men who have literally just crashed on a straightaway. Like, literally going down a straightaway, whatever happened to his Honda, it hit a pocket, or his front end washed out, but he went right over the bars all by himself. Like, no one hit him. This is an incredible situation, right? That a professional rider crashes on a straightaway. That is not normal. And those are things that we probably saw happening to the Honda last year in Supercross. He's just had a lot of really strange crashes. And for a guy that has the ability that he does and how proficient he was in the outdoors at the end of 2022, it just doesn't make sense that Chase Sexton is limited by his physical ability. What would really make sense is that there's some issue with that bike and they're just not really admitting it. So those are the things that jump out at me early on. Now, there's a couple other things. The Lawrence brothers are really crushing the championship, right? Jet's up 11 wins, Hunter's up 10 wins, so they've won 21 times. Like, that's incredible. These boys are coming out swinging, and we know that when Jet moves up to the 450, there'll be some serious racecraft to come along with it. And so I wouldn't expect that any of that would decline. We have these next 6 races coming up. You know, I think it is possible that if Jet wrapped up the championship early, I think it's possible that we'd see him on a 450 in this season, like in Supercross this season. It seems reasonable. I don't know that they'll chance it, but it does seem like something that they might talk about. Also in the news this week, where Factory KTM built a $53 million facility, and they showcase, all of the teams. So they've got Gas, they've got Rockstar Energy, Husqvarna, they've got the entire KTM squad, and they're all housed in the same facility, and they're very much approaching racing as a professional, almost like a NASCAR level experience. And I think that's something to speak about as far as elevating the game. Now, I think on the flip side of that, Star Racing Yamaha is doing the exact same thing, and they're probably doing it a little bit more focused because they don't have two other manufacturers to deal with. So I think we're seeing a really big elevation in the sport, something that needed to take place in order for this new next level of racing to occur. And one of the guys that's going to come in and just crush it is Hayden Deegan. Like him or not, Hayden Deegan is the new upcoming star, like it or not. And we know this to be true because he's come in and he's proven himself to not only just, not by happen chance be in the top 5, but proven it race after race, and now finishing those first few races with 2 top 3s. He's been in 3rd on the podium twice. I think it's entirely possible we see a good, consistent Hayden Deegan round out that top 2 on the podium this year. So those things jump out at me. We're excited to see the season go into Phoenix. Phoenix's dirt is very unique, and so I think that'll play into a favor for a lot of the hard pack, like the California type riders. But we've got a lot of diversity and a lot of racing ahead of us, and I'm going to invite you to join us a little bit later this week and check out the development for Phoenix.